Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Barry Chappell coming to you live, Hollywood, California, home of PrimeTime Shopping Network Studios. And I got a great art show tonight. I got so many different artists. I have some amazing paintings by one of the great artists, David Lloyd Glover. David Lloyd Glover is one of the most important name in a company named Art Brilliance, and David Lloyd Glover was an advertising executive. He's just an amazing artist. I have some amazing originals by him. Oh my goodness, I got a few Olegs left, not many. Got some new Schofields that I'm going to show you tonight. Oh my goodness, I got some Gregory Wilhelmies. Got a couple Sasha Bassaris, you name it, we got it. Jimmy, is that you?
Here.
What are you, like the clapper? Clap on,
That's
clap
right.
off?
If I do it again, the lights are going to go out.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to ask that question. I'll leave that one alone. So, Jimmy, what do you think of the David Lloyd Glovers?
The set looks really, really nice.
They're stunning.
Stunning.
And David Lloyd Glover, I'll show you a picture of what he looks like. He went dancing with, a couple weeks ago, Shirley Jones. And she's like 90.
Believe it or not, I saw that on the news.
That David Lloyd Glover was dancing with Shirley?
He was in Beverly Hills.
And
yeah, I'm serious.
On the news.
It did.
Okay, well, I'm glad that...
it was some type of fair they were having or something like that.
No.
No, I'm serious. Not an affair, a fair. An outdoor thing. Right? No?
Folks, my name is Barry Chappell, and we got an incredible show. What I want to do is give you an idea of how talented this man, David Lloyd Glover, is. In Japan, his art was considered the highest level. It was called dowry worthy. There's a picture of David. And what I want to do is let you spend 10 minutes with David Lloyd Glover, listen to him, because he is an artist, and he is something else. He's been on my show many times, but I got some paintings that no one has ever seen, and they're smaller, they're stunning, they got all the pop. So let's see if Matt has got it ready to show David Lloyd Glover. There you go.
Do you ever talk to Robert?
I'm David Lloyd Glover, and art is my life. I've been an artist for the last 40 years. I've made my entire living working in the art field. When people ask me what my style is, I usually describe it as vivid impressionism, and that's because of the color palette that I use. And it's not so much about, am I a landscape painter, a seascape painter, or am I a still life painter, representational painter? I paint all things. There is a Glover signature. Collectors tell me there's something they see in my work, regardless of subject matter. They recognize my use of vivid colors, and there's a real resonance that they feel when they view one of my paintings, and particularly when they own one of the paintings. It has real emotional impact to them. When I was about 4 years old, my father took me to his favorite movie, and he took me to see Disney's Fantasia. And that was a whole wide world emotional thing that happened to me. You know, being in a big movie theater, the big screen, and seeing this artwork come to life, I was completely knocked off kilter. And my father explained to me that those aren't real things. I thought that was a real world. He said, no, those are all drawings. It was that mind-blowing experience that my father took me to that started me on this track of having to create, and I was voracious. I was drawing on everything. So they were getting me big stacks of paper, and I was filling them up as fast as I could, drawing everything that I saw on television, like Buck Rogers, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers. I mean, I was just out of my mind. It started there, and it never stopped.
You sure? Do you have a credit card?
I'm always thinking of the person who is going to view the painting and what perspective they're going to have on it, particularly if they're going to be the owner of that painting. It becomes their personal possession and therefore their personal vision. The passion isn't to entertain me. It's not about what I think or what I feel so much. I think about what it would affect somebody else and how I could deeply impact their psyche. I want to bring out human emotions in a way that is calming, serene, exciting. If it's a brilliant sunset or something, it's all about emotions. That's what paint is. My paintings are really expressions of emotion. The moment that I realized I was gaining a reputation in art was when my Brentwood gallery was having an exhibition for me, and I walked into a very busy gallery full of people waiting to see me. I noticed that Olivia Newton-John was standing right in front of one of my paintings. I'm new to Los Angeles, and I'm going, wow, that's Olivia Newton-John. And we're just having a one-on-one conversation like I'm an equal to her. We live here in Los Angeles, and it's the entertainment capital of the world and certainly the creative center of the world. As a result of that, I've created a lot of paintings which celebrate the cultural history of Hollywood with famous icons of American pop culture. I did a painting of Django Reinhardt. He was the famous gypsy European jazz guitarist from the 1930s and 1940s. Anybody who plays guitar, that is his hero, because there's just nobody else like Django Reinhardt. I finished the painting, I took it in, and the gallery director said to me, dude, that's a great painting, but I don't know who the heck that is. Along comes Kim Campbell, Glenn Campbell's wife. She took one look at this painting, went, oh my God. And she ran back down the street, grabbed Glenn Campbell out of another store, took him up to the gallery and said, Glenn, look at that. And of course, that was it. He fell in love. That is his hero. Glenn Campbell is one of the greatest guitarists in the world ever. His hero is Django Reinhardt. So Glenn Campbell bought the painting. I've had a lot of artists that inspire me. I was at a show of Andrew Wyeth. When you see an Andrew Wyeth original painting, you realize he's really an artist's artist. They're wonderful compositions. His sense of light, of time and place are just outstanding, and it's very inspiring. Another artist is John Sargent. Although he was a portrait painter of great renown, he was also a wonderful impressionist painter who had great facilities to paint just about anything. His ability to capture a place and time was just outstanding. He would pride himself in painting a whole string of pearls with essentially a single brushstroke. I grew up in a city called Victoria in British Columbia. I lived 6 doors down from Emily Carr, and she is probably one of the greatest impressionist painters that ever lived. And certainly in the realm of women painters, Emily Carr inspired Georgia O'Keeffe, and here I'm literally 6 doors down from her studio. The impact of seeing her work completely floored me. Her paintings were just unbelievable. For the way an artist thinks and how an artist approaches his life, I turned to my mentor, Sid Barron, who became, over the years, what's considered a Canadian national treasure in the world of art and published art. He and I became friends when I was about 18, I think, at the time, when I first met Sid. And I went to meet him at his studio. And I went down the hallway to that studio door, and it's blank, glass window, rapped on the window, door opens, and this guy who looked like Art Carney from the Honeymooners looked at me and he said, huh, what do you want? And I said, well, my name is David Glover and I'm an artist and I really wanted to meet you and whatever. And he reached out and he grabbed me by the shirt and pulled me inside and said, get in here, closed the door. And he said, now what was that again? At first, he was a little shocked because nobody would ever come to his door. He was a recluse. But shortly thereafter, we became fast friends, and we became friends for years. And he really was my artistic mentor. He was not an artist who was telling me how to do things technically. It was really about philosophy, and it was about life experience. Sid prepared me for the rejection and sharing his life experience on what it's like as an artist to present your portfolio and constantly being rejected. And for me not to lose heart, expect to be rejected was what he would tell me. You make 10 presentations, you make 20 presentations, but eventually somebody will say yes and you'll be accepted. His guidance is what propelled me to pursue my career professionally.
昔々あるところに
One of the most poignant moments early in my career was I was invited to Tokyo to have a one-man show with an art dealer there known as Art Brilliant. And Art Brilliant was, certainly at the time, the largest art dealer in the world. I went to an exhibition where it was kind of beyond description. There was over 850 people. The pomp and circumstance they put on, a ceremony of having an artist there live and in person, to them was really something big. At that show, I was sold out that evening, and it was just over 100 original paintings. I realized I had an awful lot of work to do because I signed an exclusive contract for Asia that went on for the next 17 years. Although it was very difficult to perform at such a high level for so many years, the result to me was that there really isn't anything that I can't do. Living in Southern California gives me the inspiration of light and atmosphere, but my broad, vivid landscapes that I create are from my memories of where I grew up in British Columbia. Those images live with you forever. When I want to create a stunning wilderness landscape or a mountainous lake, I go right back to when I was young. My studio is unique in that I have an eastern exposure. So in the morning I control my lighting through the shutters, and I'm able to direct the light onto the canvas area to essentially color correct, because I get a very clean color. As the day progresses, I move the shutters because the sun is rising above and then sets into the west. Even when the sun is setting, I get a specific style or type of light that comes in through the windows. When I have one of my paintings sold, I never really know whether the same emotions and message that I'm trying to impart in this painting actually transcends to the collector. It's the human part of us that perceives what we see and what we feel as art, because we can go to that extra level, and there it becomes art. My inspiration will come from some emotional and visual impact, and then I will express it in my paints, in my mediums. I want people to see the remnants of the artist. I want them to see a piece of art. I'm telling a story, either it's a narrative story by what you see going on in the scene, or it's strictly an emotional story. It's a response that you have to a particular light effect, a view down a country road. You imagine what's at the end of that road or where it's leading you to, or it's nostalgia. It reminds you of when you were growing up, or it reminds you of an important time in your life. Maybe it was your first romance. You were in a setting just like you see in this painting. So it touches this on a very base level. Art is something that chooses you. Your ability to create in any kind of medium just comes innately, and it starts when you're very young. Certainly in my case it did. You feel this need to create all the time, no matter what you're doing. But it's not something that I think that you decide one day, you wake up and say, okay, let's go to school and be an artist. It has to come from within. Art is something that's always in your left ear telling you, yeah, it's time to paint. It's time to paint, David. You kind of follow the direction that all forces are leading you in. I have done other things in my life, but art is always the mainstay. It has been a constant in my life since I was 4 years old, and it's a constant today. Everything I do in my life revolves around creativity.
Folks, that was a film I made about David Lloyd Glover a little while ago. And David is one of the greatest artists ever. And like I said, when he would travel to Japan, he was one of the biggest suppliers, biggest sellers for a company called Art Brilliance. And David would tell me a lot of times they didn't want him to know what they were going for, so he'd peek around the corner and watch. He saw some of his paintings going for $80,000 to $140,000 US. That's what David Lloyd Glover brings to the art scene. Now, Matt, which one would you like to start with? I just want to see which one that he feels. He says, Barry, I'm going to put this one up first because we actually took pictures of Wilson. I have them here too, but I just want to see if Matt has one that he's going, Barry, this is the one. Let me see which one he picks. Did he tell you which one he's picking? Is he picking one? I hope he picks it soon because I'm leaning, Jimmy. I mean, this could get ugly. Fat man down, fat man down. All right, I think he picked one. There, thank you. Look at that. That is stunning. Now, this is Autumn Pond 2, and Autumn Pond 2 is oil on canvas, and I'll tell you, let me just put my glasses on. It's 9 by 12 inches. Now, Jimmy, for the average, like 20 by 24 or even 18 by 20, you got some comps that we just pulled off of eBay on David Lloyd Glover. So that only registers your thumbprint.
Yes.
So if I want to get on your phone, I got to kill you, cut your finger off, and put it on there.
Yeah.
Wilson, do you have those?
No, I brought one along.
All right, let's show you. David Lloyd Glover, I've known him for a long time, and he is just absolutely amazing. Here is a comp we just pulled off of eBay right there. How much do they want for that?
Let's see how tight we can get, and then I'll be able to tell you. Because I don't have my glasses on either. Let's see if I can lend a little hand for you there. Give me a second.
I think that was $4,000, 10 grand, 12 grand. How much was it?
3,900.
And what size is it? Did it say? So, folks, here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that way is probably not going to work that easy, but let's go back to Matt's picture, the first one, because this is an unbelievable one. The one you just had up, Matt. This is stunning. Autumn Pond 2. It's smaller, it's 9 by 12, but it is like, look at that. It is just second to none. And tell you what I want to do. Retails probably on a 9 by 12 by David Lloyd Glover. Look at all the work in that. Retails probably $4,500 at least. He is that important. So list price $4,500. But what I am going to do to get the show going tonight, I'm going to auction it. And what I'm going to do, list price $4,500, start at 0 Oh man, don't. Should I start at zero, Jimmy? You think anybody's watching me?
Everybody be watching at zero.
Start at zero, $225 increments. That is an original David Lloyd Glover. 9 by 12. It is stunning. It is unbelievable. $225. Folks, I can't get a calendar. You know he's done jigsaw puzzles. David Lloyd Glover has done calendars. He is from Canada, Vancouver, and he is one of the most famous artists. You have seen his images so many places, and now you can own an original David Lloyd Glover, and I'm starting at zero, $225 increments. Look at that. That was a bad idea anyway, so I'm sort of glad nobody opened. See, Wilson, what the problem is on an original David Lloyd Glover, if somebody opens and there's 1, 2 bids and it dies there, you got nowhere to go. Blame it on Jimmy and leave, something like that. But I could do that. 225 has been bid. I thank you. Where's our customer and who? Now, folks, I have never been able to buy an original David Lloyd Glover ever for $225. You know, David Lloyd Glover, if he's watching, he's going, I'm going to kill Barry. But I'm going to say, David, it's not my fault, David. It's Jimmy Gerstel's fault right here. I would come over. Folks, I have never sold one this cheap. $225 on a $4,500 David Lloyd Glover. Going once. Now, this is awful going this cheap. Going twice. Oh, I'm getting old, Wilson.
Imagine how I feel.
Yeah, well, we're at 225. I've never sold one this cheap. Verifying, we're at 225. This is an original David Lloyd Glover. That's oil on canvas. That is the David Lloyd Glover. $450. Do they mean $450,000 or $450? We're at $450. This is the original David Lloyd Glover. $675. $675 going once. Looking for more. $675 going twice. Maybe Wilson could do it. I'm going to be gone on May 15th. I'm going to my mom's house. Could you host the show? You're going to host it? Wilson's going to host it. All in, all said. That is too cheap. Sold. What just happened? Now, do you see how cheap that went for, Wilson? You know why? It's Jimmy's fault. I was watching that show on HBO called The Jinx. You know who that's about? It's smaller. I'll tell you what. I'll frame it real nice for $170. And it'll look like $1 million. All right, Matt, pick your favorite or another one. Doesn't have to be your favorite. I don't want to put Matt Jackals under any pressure. They tell me under pressure he just goes nuts. Is that true? What? Frame ship. No framing ship. $39. All right. This is as good as it gets. Look at this. Folks, this, whoever gets Rolling Ocean Surf. Look at that. Have you ever surfed in your life, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Are you any good at it?
No.
I'm not either. Ben can surf really, really well. I can't.
Definitely a skill.
It's a skill. Now that's a perfect David Lloyd Glover. List $4,800. And David Lloyd Glover is in many LA galleries. Yeah, that's a $4,800 list price. Does that say 48 or 78? 48, good. There we go. Folks, I only have a handful of these, and now I'm down to a shopkeeper's handful, a shop teacher's handful. You ever take shop in school, college, school, high school? There's always a shop teacher missing a finger. Well, now mine was. Start at zero, $225 on. That is as good as it gets. We are starting at zero, 225. That is a original David Lloyd Glover oil on canvas. Oh, look at that. I know David very well. You look at that and all of a sudden 5, 6 colors pop out. I'll bet you, if you look at all the colors he mixed in there, there's probably 45 to 50 different colors in that, Jimmy. I mean, look at all the blues alone. You got Arctic blue. Look at that, London blue, Regal blue. You got titanium white, Arctic white. You got all the whites and blues. And we haven't even got to the yellows, the orange, and everything. You got a $4,800 original. And I am looking for an open of $225. And if nobody calls, I'm lucky. What happens if 2 people call? I'm dead in the water, Jimmy. Can you swim well, Jimmy?
Yeah, like an elephant. Yeah.
I can swim really well. I can float very well. No open once. No open twice. Fair and final. No open. Matt, before I go to another one of yours, I got to put this one up here. This is BC 3006 Ranch Gate. Oh, were you verifying on the last one? All right, let's put the other one back up, Jimmy. What do you do with the other one, Jimmy? The one you just had, where is it? Put it back up. Oh, it's already up. I'm so smart. I scare myself. Yeah, there it is. We're looking for 225 to open. We have the open. Jimmy, you believe how cheap that is? $225 on a $4,800 oil on canvas by David Lloyd Glover, the guy that has sold at Art Brilliance larger paintings for well over $100,000. He just drove to Rhode Island. What was the auto museum there? He painted pictures of certain cars that auto museums buy from him. We are at 225. This is crazy. Look at that. Have you ever been caught under a wave for more than 450. Have you ever been caught under a wave for a long time? Yeah. We're at 450. This is one of the prettiest pieces that David Lloyd Glover has ever done. I am sitting here humbly. I get it. It's Wednesday night. There's all kinds of news. I'm at 450, looking for 675. That is an original David Lloyd Glover. He has sold paintings. He is a calendar artist. He is a postcard artist. I mean, but David Lloyd Glover at 450 doesn't ever happen. And I thought this was one of the nicest pieces. Look at the water receding. I only put up a 30-second clock. I apologize to the 450 bidder, but this hurts. Your head's in the screen, Jimmy. No, it's not. That would scare me too. Now it was. Mommy, there's a strange man on TV. All right. 450. I'm giving it a 30-second. This is crazy. This might end the auction portion of the evening. I can't buy it. Nobody can buy an original David Lloyd Glover of that caliber for $450. You can, and I thank you on TV. 450. Going once. 450. Going twice. How much of a delay is there, Wilson, from the time I say it?
30, 40 seconds.
There's a 30 or 40 second delay? Just to beam me up to the satellite, turn me around, and beam me back down. And they beam Jimmy up and down first so I have something soft to land on. You take a lot of abuse, don't you?
And willingly, too.
Yes, you do. All right, all in at 450, going once, going twice. Fair, final warning. Thank you. Here is Ranch Gate. This is BC 3006. Look at that coloring. I can't do that. I never said I could, but look at that. Look at that. Now you're looking at that. How many colors do you see, Jimmy? At least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then there's the purples, 8, browns, 9, rust, 10. Just in this little area. Then you get to the carnation, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, the rust, 14. The reds, 15, 16. There's a lot of colors. Start at, let me ask you this. What is this in the computer for? This is BC 3003. 306, my bad. Now, I just don't want anybody to get confused. Wilson? Yeah. For our viewers in China, that should be 6003 to you. Because it's backwards, Jimmy. Have you ever been to China?
I dug there or the other number.
Take a look at this. Start at zero. $225 increments. That is as good as it gets. That is an original David Lloyd Glover, oil on canvas. I have Gregory Wilhelmies. I have Sasha Bassaris. I have Oleg Chevetins. I have all kinds. I got one lonely cow or bull, I'm not sure. Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. That's a perfect painting. And not only does he sign it in pigeon blood red on the front, he also signs it on the back. Let me know, because so far we don't have an open. Oh, that's a perfect painting. All right, Matt, I want you to do your magic. You pick another one. He's got a better eye at it than I do. It's all over for me, Jimmy. It's like the old song, wasted days and wasted nights. 35 years, 33, almost 34 in the books. What I got to show for it? Yeah, no, I have. Fortunately, I have my faithful dog, Pretty Boy Floyd. It's turning out to be,
I hear you said you had a cow.
I have a cow. I'm going to pull it up.
You can introduce the two.
All right. Pick your favorite painting, Matt. Oh, there it is. Look at that. An original David Lloyd Glover. Autumn Leaves. That brings up several important points. Not only is this $4,700, 76, I think it's 40, whatever, retail. The thing about Autumn Leaves, are you ready for this? This is a very important question, Jimmy. Where does it go? When autumn leaves, does he come back or she? What is the right pronoun? Is autumn a her, him, or a they?
Generally, autumn would be a her,
Oh, you sexist.
right? Hasn't been.
Patty, is autumn a him, her, they? What would you, what, her?
I would, of course, call it a season, but they.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't have many seasons. I like accent sauce. Have you ever used that? Yeah, he got it. All right.
That's old school, man.
Tell you what, this $225 ain't working out. Start at zero, $200. We can either make it $200 or $12,000. What would you go with, Jimmy? It's up to you. $200 increments. That is a perfect David Lloyd Glover. I have a couple Sasha Bassaris here. All right. No open on this. The David Lloyd Glover. Do you see the largest one behind you? No, Jimmy. No, that right up the largest one. What proof is that, Patty? In your jug? Sure it is. Yeah. I knew a guy, I think you knew him. I'm trying to remember his first name. I think it was Greg, but he used to have a lot of vodka in his water. Yeah, put that up. All right. Now, magic. Poof. Take a look at what's on the easel now. Because that one's... there we go. Now this is David Lloyd Glover. Orange flowers. And the size is in centimeters, 45.7 by 61. Do you know why it's in centimeters? Let me show you.
2849 is the item number.
Wilson, right up here on the top. This was part of an Art Brilliance show. On the other side, here. That's in Chinese, right there. Japanese, I'm sorry. You know what that says in Japanese, Jimmy? Of course you don't. But no, you do. You sell pandas. You know what that says in Japanese? Always buy your art from Barry Chappell's Fine Art Showcase. He has the best prices in the world. That's just the top line. Then we go to the bottom. It says, don't ever miss one of his shows, especially when he's selling the amazing work of David Lloyd Glover that would have been $35,000 to open at a Japanese Art Brilliance show. And there's still 3 words left, but I'm going to leave those alone. Yes, this is a lot larger. He signed David Lloyd Glover on the canvas. He signed it on the back of the frame. This is a $21,000 retail. This was one of the showstoppers that they put in the Art Brilliance catalog, and they had an open on this in Japan as last show. Minimum open, Jimmy. Look at that. In Japan at Art Brilliance was $48,000. Now here in America it's $21,000. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, look at that. How many orange flowers are there, Wilson?
He's going to have to take his shoes and socks off.
And what is the orange flower? Is that like a pansy? I don't know. What is an orange flower? I know what it is, but... All right, I got to ask Siri. Siri, name one of the many orange flowers.
I found this on the web.
61 orange flowers.
Here's what I found.
Well, I was reading what you found before that, then you changed it. 61 types of orange flowers. Tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, the book is entitled 61 Orange Flowers. So I'll tell you what, let's make this easy. You got a very expensive, large David Lloyd Glover with the import from the Japanese Art Brilliance show on the back. Let's do this. $1,200 to open. That's too cheap. I'm going to get in trouble. If somebody in Japan is watching from Art Brilliance, my name is James Gerstel. No, I'm not. My name's Gary Upchurch. That was my first fake ID. It worked forever. I was only 15. I was buying beer for the neighbor kids and everything, making a fortune. And then somebody asked me at a liquor store, They said, Gary, what year did you graduate high school? I was so stupid I hadn't thought that through. If I was 21, what year would I have graduated high school? And this is 1974, 5. I was 14, 15. I don't know. I got the question wrong. They took my ID. No interest in the orange flowers. All right. I must be doing the wrong increments. Matt, pick one more of the ones that you downloaded. So it looks like it just magically appears here. Just like we had a Lance Holloway magic guide. That was from that movie. Oh, that is, folks, this is one of the most expensive Glovers I have. This tulip at springtime. Apparently, certain tulips only open for a short period of time. Did you know that, Wilson? Did you know that certain tulips only open up for a very short period of time? And so you need a camera. I have no idea.
Do they fall off after that, or they close back up?
It all depends if you're kind to them or not. For me, they'll close up, they'll open back up, they'll do all kinds of stuff. For you, they'll be like what's that one flower? Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I have a couple of those around the house.
Do you? Tell you what, retail on this is $19,000. It is beautiful. It's 12 by 16. It is what he specializes in. I'll tell you what. $550 to open. $100 increments once we get the open. If you like tulips, Wilson, if one is a tulip, if you have more than one, what do they become? Do they become like tuli? Tulies? If one is a tulip, what are two? Tulips. What are two tulips? What would 5 tulips be? No. I think it's tuli. Any interest? He kicked you, Patty. I saw it. Yeah, I know what you're going to do to him. He deserves it. And just so you know, there are 61 different types of orange flowers. You know how I know that? Because there's a book entitled 61 Types of Orange Flowers. Now, we're assuming he knows what they are. But I recently found out the guy that wrote that book is colorblind. So that might be wrong, Jimmy. What do they say at that price on orange flowers? Because I'm giving. I'm Barry the giver. All right. Let me move on to something else. Let me hang on. Oh, that would be a steal. Yeah, someone I see. And that's Priscilla, right? I got her name right. All I had to do was think of Elvis, his wife Priscilla. Long time ago, I thought about being an Elvis impersonator. I lost too much weight. I know. All right. Are they interested in this? Okay. Now, Jimmy, I am going to move to Heartland Morning. He painted in 2013. Have you ever heard of Tijuana Brass and the Lonely Bull? No. Well, this is Barry Chappell and the sad cow. That poor cow. Look at that. Wilson, what's going on? You got the snow caps of maybe an early winter, and you have, is that a cow or a bull, Wilson? I want you to come in close on this. Is this a cow or a bull? Have you ever milked a cow?
Not knowing.
No, I had to do it in Boy Scouts.
Really?
Yeah. I saw you milk a bull once. Sorry, Jimmy. Look at all the colors in this. Now, this is a very expensive David Lloyd Glover because it is a perfect painting. It is a large size, and I don't have the item number on this, Matt, but we've had it before. It's called, there, he has it. It's like Kreskin. Look at that. Do you remember Kreskin? The amazing Kreskin. He's still alive.
Talk about amazing.
All right, look at this. I'll tell you what I can do on this. This is a major painting by David Lloyd Glover. You know what I need. Nah, you know what I need. Because I want to sell this lonely cow or bull. Here comes the most... Patty can tell me eventually. If you get a second, Patty. I'll tell you what I'm going to do on this. What do we have the retail down at? 25,000, 30,000. Tell you what I can do on this. That lonely, what do you call, like dogs are canines? Cats are felines. All right, what, these are bovines? Is that a male bovine or a female?
Judging by the udder, that is an udder, right?
I don't know. Come in close. We're trying to figure out if this is a happy cow or a lonely bull. It just says Heartland Morning. Patty, I need to know on this. That's Billy the bovine. Is it Barbara the bovine or Billy? Is it a cow or a bull? What's your best guess, Wilson? Bull?
That's because it's
Bull?
alone in the field, right?
No, I say bull to that. I think it's a cow. What is it, Patty? On this? Now, Patty, your best guess. Is it a cow or a bull? It's a cow. So that is Barbara the cow. Unless you have a better name. What would you name your cow? Catherine the cow.
Katie the cow.
Don't you dare. My daughter, oh, okay, good, you get it. All right. Tell you what, this is a major work. This is the type of stuff that David Lloyd Glover easily gets 25, 30,000 for. A painting like this will take him months, if not longer. And he is sometimes, I don't think this one, but it could have been a plein air painter where he goes out there. I doubt this one because it would have taken a long time, but look at that. I'll tell you what. $1,000 to open. How's that? $1,000 to open on one of the largest David Lloyd Glovers I have here. I only have 3 minutes till 7 o'clock. And I want to thank everybody watching us on DirecTV. And just to show you, in case somebody sees one they like, Jimmy, let's do this. We got 2 over here. Yeah, let's just, I can put that one on top. Watch this. It's okay. I got it. Those 2. No, right over here, Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah. I have some David Lloyd Glovers. I'm not sure if yeah, that's a David Lloyd Glover. Yes. The David Lloyd Glover is modeled by James Gerstel. This is your chance to be a real hand model, like George Costanza. Yeah. I have all these other ones, so give me a call if you're interested. And I want to thank you for watching the Wednesday night art show here at PrimeTime Shopping Network.
My brother was a ham on. Called him Stumpy.
Oh, Mr. Gerstel. Yeah, someday you're going to retire and I'm going to have to tell people Mr. Gerstel is down by the well. You know, just wandering around. Any interest, Patty, and anybody? All right. Let me see. Last call, and I thank you. A few folks that got some David Lloyd Glovers. Thank you. And I just hope everybody has a great evening with us. I have some Michael Schofields. I have some, I got a Sasha Basari that I can't believe hadn't sold. I got some Gregory Wilhelmies. Here's what I'm going to do, though. 7 o'clock. Hello, Dish Network. Barry Chappell coming to you live with Jimmy Gerstel. And we've been selling David Lloyd Glovers. I think the orange flowers are still available unless somebody calls us. And Jimmy, I'm going to let you kind of move these away because I want to talk about, oh, that is stunning. All right, here's one more David Lloyd Glover right here. I didn't show this, and this I should have shown. Look at this tree. I even have a BC number for it. This is BC 2851. Look at this. Autumn Country Lane. Look at that, Wilson. You ever spend much time in the Midwest? What? You were born in Minnesota.
So that would be a no then.
No, land of the lakes. 10,000. So they say. I've never really counted them all. I heard there was only 9,990 because of global warming. I don't know. I was born in Indiana. Yeah. Take a look at this, David Lloyd Glover. This is a far larger piece. This is 24 by 18. It is medium acrylic on canvas panel. So this is canvas panel board. If you are interested in it, this is BC 2851. You might have already had the graphics there. I don't know, Matt, because I showed this a couple weeks ago, but and if you're interested, give me a call, because I'm going to move the David Lloyd Glovers aside. I haven't spent much time on Sasha Basari. I'm only going to spend a second on one. The Amazement of a Little Kid. This is BC 2809. Sasha stressed how important it is in Russia. He's from St. Petersburg, how many parks there are. And look at that little kid. You look into his eyes, and it's the greatest gift I've ever seen from an artist. You just stare at this kid's eyes for a few minutes, you know that kid. You know his name, you know all kinds of stuff. You can even look in the bird's eyes. But this is the Sasha Basari. He is a master graduate from the St. Petersburg Academy of Art. He is getting ready to go all the way over to London to do a big art show for Saatchi Galleries of London. Painting like this is $25,000, and it's amazing. I'm just going to price this. If you don't own a Sasha Basari, I'm out. I have one other besides this. I have no other ones coming. I mean, I do, but there are a lot more, and he's getting ready for his London show, and he doesn't fly, Jimmy. Last I heard, he's taking a boat. I don't know. Hey, and that is a tough road. I took that from St. Petersburg to, I don't know if it was one heck of a rough boat ride. You couldn't have gotten, you would have probably had to get to, I don't know. Where would I have gone from St. Petersburg by boat? Norway, Finland?
Wish I could tell you, but I don't know.
Tell you what I'm going to do on this. I'm going to open this at the lowest price I have ever offered a Sasha Basari. And this is so cheap, it's scary. If you don't own one, this is one of your last chance. Once he gets done with his big gallery shows at Saatchi, he's already has so many commissions in St. Petersburg. Here's what I'm going to do. This is way too cheap, $1,100 to open. And it's framed, ready to be shipped. And I don't have time to run the docudrama I made on Sasha Basari, but Sasha Basari, just look at that boy's eyes. I mean, when I take a couple deep breaths, that kid's talking to me, Jimmy. He's looking at me and he's saying, you made a few bad career choices, didn't you, Mr. Chappell? They offered you tenure teaching. Oh, you traded that in for live TV shopping 33 years ago. Uh-huh. I agree with you, Igor. Stop. His name's Igor. All right. You didn't pick that up? He didn't tell you that? All right. Well, I'm going to move Igor aside. Now, here's what I want to do. Folks, I have, and this is absolutely the last showing of a few Oleg Zhevetins. I just want to show you how famous Oleg Zhevetin is. Oh, by the way, here's Saatchi Online, that last one. They want $15,000 for a Sasha Basari 12 years ago, Jimmy. 15,000 12 years ago. I would have sold that for 1,100. No takers. All right. But here's what I want to show you. Oleg Zhevetin is a master graduate from the Surakov in Moscow, one of the toughest art schools on the planet to get into. He was one of the youngest graduates to ever be accepted. He was born in Uzbekistan, which is over 1,000 miles away. Here is art brokerage. Here is Oleg Zhevetin, Untitled 1. That's in centimeters. Look at that. 95,000 asking. Retail 104,000. Here, I know the customer that bought this, but here's when it was on art brokerage first. Original painting, asking price $68,000, and that was 13 years ago. I sold it on one of my shows. I have a picture of it in the person's house. Here is Sailor's Heart. This is what Oleg does. He takes geometrical shapes, mixes them together, but he wants to show Russian Romanticism. He wants to show emotion. This painting originally sold for $44,800 in 2011, Jimmy. It was resold or re-put up for $95,000 2 years later. Oleg Zhevetin is one of the greatest living Russian artists on the planet. He has dual citizenship. He's got American citizenship through an E4 visa, and he's very proud of it. He gets mad sometimes. He says, "Boy, I have to learn English. I had to learn American history." And he knows it. That's my dog, Ginger. That's Oleg. That's my apartment. And he was dropping off some paintings, and Ginger scared everybody except Oleg. It's like, I'm going to leave with Oleg. Okay. I mean, but here, Oleg was one of the best artists that ever worked for a company called Collector's Editions. All of these he turned into serigraphs, and most of them are sold out editions. The Marchetti, those paintings, would sell for 7 to 9. Well, I don't know. I was going to say I got to be safe on that. He sold 12 paintings himself for $100,000 each. So I'm just going to, the Marquette edition by Oleg, priceless. And here is the first time I ever met Oleg. December 4th, 2006. Collector's Editions kept saying, "You can't get hold of him, he's in Moscow." And he was in Corona about an hour and a half. And I went over there, and we've been doing business for 18 years since then. Folks, I wish I had more. I have 7 Oleg originals left. That's it. And they are stunning. The one that I cannot believe, there are 2 that didn't sell, but this one right here is one of the greatest Olegs I have ever seen. Would you put it on the easel? Yeah, it's up to.
Too high for you?
No, I'll jump real high. No, we should take this one away. Yes. This is what Oleg does better than anybody on the planet. It's called Love Story. And we ain't talking Ally McGraw and Ryan, what was his name? O'Neill. He had a great life. He was then. I don't know about now. No. Look at her eyes. She's looking away. She is trying to decide. She is holding a flower that her boyfriend or the man she's interested in gave her. The wheat symbolizes a family growing together, building something. But over here in this heart, she's got two faces. One of the guy that gave her the flower, and one of a guy she still thinks about that didn't give her the flower. What could happen there, Wilson? Yeah. I'll tell you, people get all strung about that. They get real upset. I had a girlfriend in Georgia where the guy she was dating pulled a gun on me. I was 18 years old. I've never had a gun put to me. And the funny thing is, he didn't even want me. He puts a gun on me and tells the girl, get in my car. And I said, well, Jan, I think you should do what he says. I went to the police station and said, hey, a guy just pulled a gun, took this girl from me, his old girlfriend. And the police said, how long ago did that happen? I said, about 15 minutes ago. And then he said, I'm sorry, come back in 23 hours and 45 minutes if you haven't seen her. I said, okay. I saw her sooner than that. Then I broke up with her, drove across the country from Georgia to Southern Oregon State College and got my 4 years degree in economics in Ashland, Oregon. This is Love Story. Now, I have shown you $100,000, $120,000 Olegs. This is one of the greatest Olegs I have ever seen. This is the last of the great Olegs that I have. I thought this would sell the first night. He even put silver in the painting here. Look at the story. It is Russian Romanticism, and he is using every geometrical shape you can think of. You have squares, circles, triangles, planes, rhombuses. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
What's plural for rhombuses? Wilson, you go to the store, you buy a rhombus, and somebody else has a rhombus. So now you own two. What do you own two of?
Rhombi.
You think it's rhombi? Oh, how little I know, because I don't have a clue. This texturing is something he learned at the Surikov. The Surikov was named after Vasily Ivanov Surikov, one of the greatest Russian artists of all times. He would paint 40 feet paintings and take a year to do it. He'd hire people to play soldiers and lay there dead. And they had to remember exactly how dead they looked when they laid there. Or you might end up dead. But this is really hard to do. He told me about that and how he had to learn this at the Surikov. There's special techniques. Look at this. Look at the color of the lips. But look at those blue eyes. She's looking away from her mind's eye there. Why, Wilson? You see this? See what she's looking away from? Her own feelings. Look at that. Which one is she going to pick, Patty? The one that she loans for that she used to know, or the one that gave her the flower now?
Pick herself.
She's going to do what?
She's going to pick herself. She's going to pick herself and just live a happy life.
So she's going to forget about them both?
Yes.
Oh, you cynic. No, I don't think that's legal, Jimmy. She can't pick them both. I mean, well, never mind. I'm not going there. Folks, in all seriousness, I joke around a lot. This is one of the greatest Olegs I've ever had. The 3 Graces I sold. It went for so much money at my old company. The color scheme is perfect. This is BC. It's called Love Story 2948. And here's what I want to do. This is a monster of a painting. Here's what I can do. Oh, look at that. Folks, this is a $100,000 original. $7,000 to open, $250 increments. Do they wet? 77,000 on Love Story. It is one of the greatest Olegs I've ever seen. Everything that is known about what Oleg does is in this painting. Look how he made the hair on that girl. That's just stunning. And this is a large painting. I wish I had more. I only have 7 Oleg Javetins. The one that surprised me beyond belief, Jimmy, if you can move Love Story, be gentle. Did you ever see the movie Love Story? I saw it about 5 years after it came out because I'm not as old as you. This right here is one of my favorites. It's called Eve and the Apple. I thought this would go like quickly. This is BC 2954. I think you can put it back over there if you want. 2954. This is the Garden of Eden here, folks. This is the beginning of everything, Wilson. The Garden of Eden. And what did everybody say to Adam not to do and to Eve not to do? What'd they say?
Don't eat that apple.
Don't pick the apple. And Adam's whispering, don't you dare. And that's Eve. She's going to grab the apple. What happens when she grabs that apple, Wilson? You've lived it. Tell everybody what happens. Oh, it's hell on earth. Yes, Wilson. Wilson had beautiful yellow hair until then. It's been gray ever since. Yes. Don't pick that apple, Jimmy. Yes. Now, what Oleg has done here is so amazing. There's a face in a face. In other words, she's looking this way to pick the apple, but she has bad feelings about doing it. Adam's telling her don't do it, and she's disturbed because part of her says, I want that apple. The other half is saying, don't pick that apple. He has embroidered the whole piece. This is Oleg Javetin. This is oil on canvas, and it is stunning. I'll tell you what I will do. Oh, this is too cheap. This is one of my favorite pieces. $3,000 to open. $200 increments. These are all I have left, and they're gorgeous. This is one of my favorite. If I had to pick one out, it would have been Love Story or this one. This one, the amount of motion that Oleg has put into this painting, indecision, Eve's hand going for the apple. Adam's going, please don't do that. The face in the face. Am I making a big mistake is what Eve is saying. He's showing that by the face in the face. Here. Oh, that would have been a steal at that price. The Admirer is coming up next, Jimmy. Okay, Barry, I'll move the painting for you. Will you please, Jimmy? Yes, I'll move it for you. I'll move it for you. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. You're welcome, Barry. This is called the Admirer. It's oil on board. It is BC 2956. This is one of my favorite pieces because you have a house here. You have this person who is, you got this house. He's admiring this beautiful woman, thinking maybe I could set up a house with her. Maybe this is my future. Every geometrical shape you can think of, triangles, squares, circles, arches, everything. Look at that, he's got a plane there, a gray plane. This is stunning. Oleg Glover, on his own, sold 10 paintings himself, each for over $100,000 each. Here's what I'm going to do on this. On this, $3,500 to open. And Matthew, you see I call him that to get his attention. You guys just call him Matt. What do you call him, Patty? You call him what? Lateo? Mateo. Mateo. All right, Mateo. I saw his stage name. Did you see his locker over there? Guillermo Sanchez Escobar. Yeah. You're going, do not irritate me tonight, Barry. Do not. All right. I have three more to show you, and then I'm thinking Oleg won tonight. Just once I show you a couple more, I want you to think about some stuff. This is Banjo Player. It's 32.5 by 44. It's oil on canvas. You ever buy the Roy Clark Big Note Banjo School? You know who Roy Clark is? Yes. Now, this is so amazing because you have a face here. You have this girl with these beautiful blue-green eyes. This with a kind of gesture hat, but she is playing the banjo. He's looking at her. Every geometrical shape, a master graduate of the hardest art college on the planet, Oleg Glover. You got $115,000 original. You got a ton of stuff here. And one more time. I know I need glasses. All right, now hold it up. I didn't have my glasses on. Gotcha. I thought I knew that. I thought I saw that. $5,500 to open or get me close. And I have two more to show you. And then I'm going to show you, ooh, did my hand enter the shot? All right. Last two. Matt, it is not touching the back. It might be now, but these are oil on paper. This is 2960, the touch. Now, look at all the geometrical shapes. What I am fascinated by this is the face in the face. In other words, this person is looking this way at this person, but thinking, looking down, maybe an embarrassment, maybe I don't know how I feel about that. Every geometrical shape, master graduate of the Surikov. 3 years ago, there had only been one American ever accepted into the Surikov. It's one of the most difficult schools, art colleges on the planet. $3,200 to open. If you don't own an Oleg, this is one of your last chance. You ever been to Last Chance gas station? I'm talking about it's on the way. You got to drive halfway to Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's the last gas till you get to Vegas. They closed.
Really?
No, I just gas. What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give us a call. And here is Reflections, 2959. They're both beautiful. Look at this. There's a conversation going on between those two, and there are hard feelings from the past on the other side. Oleg is using every technique he learned at the Surikov in Moscow. Give me a call. I'll work you some deals. Here's what I want you to do, folks. I want to show you, and I'm flexible. Well, I'm not. I got to get more flexible, Jimmy. Are you? Can you stand on one leg like this and hold your hand out? Come on, do it. All right, now stand with both feet in the air.
I can do that too. I told you I've been practicing my handstand.
No, folks, I want to show Oleg 1. This is Oleg Zhevetin in his own words, master graduate of the Surikov in Moscow. Come up with some offers, talk to me. I'm going to work some deals. Last chance on Oleg. Tell me when he's ready. Take a look at that.
My name is Oleg Zhevetin. I was born in former Soviet Union. I was born in a small town close to Tashkent city. Tashkent, it's a pretty big city in Central Asia. It used to be part of Soviet Empire. But when I was grew up, I never knew all of that stuff. I just grow up. When I was grow up, I don't know difference between socialism or communism or capitalism or anything else, all that political crap. I just grow up as a little boy, that's it. I just grow up, I love to see flowers, nature, play Indians. Actually, we play American Indians. My earliest memories, I just love to draw. I draw on the furniture, on the walls, on the paper. If I have a piece of paper, I just draw. My family, we have 3 kids. I used to have sister older than me and brother younger than me. My father is simple engineer. Actually, he was chief engineer in the furniture factory, and we have simple life. I'm thankful to my parents because they was educated, actually behind their limits, behind what they need to know in their lives. We have a great library. So I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot of American artists, American writers too. And I was just a simple boy. I just read a little bit. The important, probably, we don't have much TV. That time, Soviet Union, Russia, at that time, we had just 3 channels was controlled by government. And we have just a simple, corny movies, probably not much news, because they don't show news at all. Here in the United States, people always stressful. Why? Because they always see the horrible news. Somebody killed here, somebody has drug overdose, somebody got car accident, terrorism here. Always stressful news. Back in Soviet times, no. Even if Russia has some kind of trouble like this, they never show on TV. They always show positive news. Like, let's say, that farmer got thousands more cows, and that's it. The whole news like this. If I couldn't paint, I have to make somehow my living. I don't know. I would be probably homeless. I cannot do anything else. In my early age, when I was like 17 years old, and I was in art school, but I cannot make any money from my art. My father was chief engineer in furniture factory. So one time I came to him and I told to him, look, I have to make some extra money for my clothes, for my girlfriends. He said, okay, you can go in my factory and work as a simple blue-collar factory workman. You can make maybe about $200-300 a month. And I did that. I go to the factory and work about 3 months. And it was so hard, and I don't want to do that anymore. It's not because it's hard labor. I'm not afraid hard labor. It's what stopped me to do it anything. I start to understand I don't like it. I just don't like it. I start to understand I have to stick what I like. What I like to paint, and that's it. I'm gonna be an artist. But I joined the Surikov Art Institute called Vasily Surikov Art Institute when I was 20 or 21. It's very, very difficult school to get into. Why? I tell you why. Because in Soviet times, to join that school, a lot of competition to join that school. Why? Because it's, let's say take huge megapolis like Moscow. 10 million people live in Moscow. And in Moscow, we have probably 2 or 3 schools high-end like this, no more. And 200 million people in country. And let's say how many thousands of artists who want to join and to be an artist and get that high-end, excellent education. Thousands of people. So when you go to there, you have to show your artworks. You have to show your skills, your education, and you have to pass it through examination. So when you compete, you have to take some tests. in art, in drawings, in composition, in paint, in art history, in language, in a little bit in philosophy. And every test you have to have excellent grades. If you don't have excellent grades, you just lose. That's it. Because school has to choose the most excellent person to study. You have to show real paintings, not photographs, not for portfolio. Real paintings. So I take my paintings, I put them in a train, put myself in a train, travel 3 days. Russia is a very big country. So from south to Damascus, I travel about 3 days in a train, take some taxis. So show the paintings, real paintings to the persons who reliable, who making decisions. So they can allow to put you compete. A lot of guys show the paintings, it doesn't matter, they can see the paintings and they say, no, we cannot accept you. We cannot accept you even to try compete. So first step, you have to show the paintings and they can see the paintings and probably they can see some potential inside. So they can say, yes, we can allow you to start competition. In Russia, in Soviet times, artists cannot paint even human being or any cityscape or landscape or any nature. It was against religious rules. Simply, I can have consequences. For example, if I paint something like I paint now in Russia, back in Russia, I could be arrested. It's simple as this. Why? Because I don't paint some stupid portraits of some proletarian guys or some party propaganda. What they actually tell you to paint. A KGB guy come to you and say, okay, you have to paint here Lenin or here some Karl Marx and here some revolutionary guards or whatever. And of course, a lot of people say, yeah, I paint that. And they paint, they got their salary and that's it. But if you don't do it, you don't paint, you paint something else, very simple. They can arrest you, they can abuse you in jail, torture. It's very simple like this. Can spend, let's say, 7 years just for nothing, for saying something, or paint some paintings, or create some music what doesn't suit to the music of communistic taste. I just have to change my situation around me, so I don't want to go to prison. Why? Because I want to paint certain paintings. It's simple as this. So I moved to United States, and amazingly, I never was arrested for my paintings. Even more, I was appreciated. Here, public start like my paintings.
Hi, folks. Barry Chappell back with you. That was Oleg in his own words. He is one of the most respected. He not only sells his own work, but one of his other students a couple years after him from the Surikov started doing business when COVID happened, and they were getting $200,000, $225,000 up front for commission pieces. And I'd love to work you some deals. Tell me which ones you're interested in. I'll try and I'll do everything I can to get you an Oleg Zhivet. And I have been on TV for 33 years. I'm in my 34th year. On June 21st, I finish it. I start my 34th year. So what I can do, I can tell you out of 35 years of being on live TV, 34, I've never met anybody like Oleg. He's 1 in a million. He is one of the most talented artists I've ever met, period. And I will do everything I can to work a deal, but this is the last time you're probably going to see most of these paintings. Which one are they interested in, Patty?
Love Story, you have an offer?
All right, Love Story. What is it? I am not off. I could jump, though, if you get me mad. Patty, it's been a tough week. All right, I'm off. Done. I thank you. Who was it? I probably could get in trouble. I probably sold that way too cheap, but that is gone. I said, Patty kept asking, "Are you off?" And I said, "Yes." I thought she meant my mic. She's trying to insult me.
She had it right.
And I gave that so much cheaper, but that's theirs. Move Love's Story away. Now, thank you. I never want to, a guy named Robert Hallam, Bob Hallam, that lives in Stockton, California, Jimmy. He owns Stockton Coin and Jewelry. This is BC 2954. He told me 33 years ago when he sent me some coins, barely knew him. I said I might buy that myself. He says, never compete with your customer, ever. And I never have. But I've given this 3 showings, and if you don't buy it tonight, I got to talk to Oleg, work a deal. This is gold to me. It's not that expensive. It is a perfect Oleg. It is Eve and the apple. Don't touch that apple, Jimmy. Don't yank that apple up. What, Wilson, what's going to happen if they pull that apple off that branch in the Garden of Eden? What's going to happen, Wilson? You know you've lived it. What's going to happen? Bad things. You ain't lying. This is one of my favorite pieces. Bad things. Oh, you're understating. We're talking biblical floods, snowstorms, no pizza at 7-Eleven. We're talking the whole 9 yards. Take a look at this, and we're going to pull up 2954. $954 up for. They got a heck of a deal. Matt, what did we have this up for? Say what? 3,000 open? Oh, that's too cheap. I'll tell you what. Patty, double, 3,000 to open. 3,200, I think, to open, right? Was it 3 or 32? 3,000 to open. Look at this. I'll tell you what, this is as good as it's ever going to get. I want this painting because it has everything fantastic about Oleg. I'll tell you what I can do. Call me. I can sharpen my pencil, turn my calculator on. What I can't do is sharpen my calculator and turn my pencil on. Oh, that doesn't work. Have you ever tried to sharpen a calculator? It grinds. It's that grinding sound you hear in your head when you're at your dentist getting a root canal, you know. That's what it sounds like when you sharpen your calculator. So, tell you what I'm going to do. This is one of my favorites. I will work you a deal. We add up for 3,000. Call me. I'll find some way to get it in your hands. And this one was the one Oleg kept talking about to me and Jack Jackals and Ashley when we were all here today. He was talking about banjo player. And he was trying to show why this, we got it, yeah, there you go, was such a difficult painting and how he had to struggle to get the focal point of light just right. And what he wanted to do where some of it is shaded and some of it isn't. And he talked about this painting as being one of his best ever. And this is BC 2951. Look at that. It is stunning. Oh, what did we have this up for? This one 55. Oh, it's worth every penny of it. I'll tell you what I can do. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Ooh. I had this up for 5,500. Call me. I'm going to work a deal. I'm going to work a deal. I got, look, on one of these two, I love them both, and I don't want to compete with my customers. Whether, and Patty, what I know what I had this up for. What's my cost on even the Apple? 2954, and the banjo player. And what state did that last? I know I'm deaf and yes. Patty, what is my cost on the banjo player? We were talking about Bruce, we were talking about Burt Reynolds. He used to buy art for me occasionally when I was over at Art and Coin. And he would always call up under the name Mr. Andrews. Okay, I'll tell you what I can do on this. I got a special price on both of these. Oh, I got a price on this. It's so cheap, I can't even put it on the ground. Got to call. This is my favorite. I got to tell you, if you guys don't buy it, I will never compete with my customers. But when Oleg comes to pick up this bag, I'm going to say, Oleg, I want to work with you. I want to talk to you. Because this, even the Apple, it is just biblical. This, the banjo player, here's what I'm thinking, Patty. They got a call, but are you right? Now don't, she fell over when I told her the price of one thing the other day. All right, this is what I'm thinking on the banjo player. All right, I'm going to signal it to you. Got to put the mic in my pocket. Let me write this down.
I'm worse than you, Barry.
This
That's okay. So I did see that correctly.
is that too cheap? No, don't rip it up. Because I have a rule: if they rip it up, they gotta eat it.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, I have a price so cheap on the banjo player that I hope you're out there, because we had it up for 5,500. I just gave a price so cheap, you got to call in to get it. I think something would happen if I put it on the screen. You know, did you ever watch that one movie? Yeah, no. You ever see that movie, The Dead Don't Die, with Bill Murray? Where the dead come back to life and they blame it on fracking and global warming? Oh, it's funnier than heck. Yes. And Tom Waite is in it. Do you know who he is? Yes. If I said the price, it'd be the same thing throughout the world. All right, so I got those two, and let me put one more up that I can even work some amazing deals. Jimmy, move that. Oh, the banjo player. Hang on, don't touch it because Priscilla Presley is taking the call. Okay. Priscilla, do you think Elvis, now I know he's dead, but do you think he'd be mad if he knew you were working here?
Elvis is dead?
Yeah. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. I can't sing like Elvis. Folks, I have these two Olegs on paper. They are acrylic on paper. They're both oil, and in some cases, oil, acrylic, and pastel, all done by Oleg Javetin. 2960 is called The Touch, right here. It's absolutely amazing. Yes, look at that. I'm on the air, I better be. So The Touch, I got a special off the air price. And this is called Reflections. This is called Reflections. I know we had them up. Call me because I got a price that will knock your socks off. On either one of these. We had them up for $3,200, $3,500. Whoa. Just call me. I got a price that's going to knock your socks off. All right. I would go for, I like the face and the, oh. They're both equal. I mean, look at this. This is a costume they wear in Uzbekistan. Right there. And you have a face inside a face inside a face next to a half face. Yes. I've never seen him do that. A face in a face in a face. And that is deep in thought, and that's called Reflections. And this is called The Touch. And who's touching who here? Yeah, right there. She's touching his arm. He's touching her face. And you got a face and a face. Tell you what, either one of these, this is so cheap, $2,500 to open. On either one of them. And I'm for 32. $2,500 on the last showing of these two. And I want to thank you on the Olegs. They are mega valuable. I have not done Oleg Javetin justice. One of the greatest artists I ever met. I met quite a few. I met Leroy Neiman. Yeah, I met a lot of them, yeah. Call me on any of those. $2,500 to open on any of those two. And I am going to move along. This is the one, folks. Look at that. Isn't that something? I don't know. I got to own this one. But I never will compete with my customers. But if you don't buy it, I am. I don't. That sounds tacky. But true. Okay. Matt, what I want to do right now, because it is, and keep calling on the Olegs. What I want to do is show a short film on Michael Schofield, because I have some more Michael Schofields tonight, and he is amazing. And you know, you can't just introduce. You got to do it like Ed McMahon. Here's Johnny, but I got to do that with Michael Schofield. So tell me when he's ready, because I'm going to do it like a professional, Wilson. Yeah.
Who's that, Joe Cocker?
Yeah, Joe Cocker. Take a look at that.
I'm Michael Schofield. I'm an impressionist landscape artist. Landscapes are probably what I enjoy doing the most. And I think one of the reasons I enjoy doing what I do because I enjoy being in nature. Landscapes to me speaks to who and what I am. I enjoy the outside. I love looking at different parts of the country. Every different part of the country is unique in its area. Landscapes are what I enjoy painting more than anything else. When I'm looking at a landscape, the first thing I do is to see the depth of the piece and how I'm going to create the depth. How am I going to create the foreground and the middle ground and the background? And what it is that I'm going to have to do in order to jump over the hurdles it's going to take in order to get that particular scene on canvas. Do I frame it right to left? Do I move these trees here? Do I bring a brook through the center of the piece? Do I bring it from left to right? You know, what's intriguing about this particular scene? Taking out all of the small details that don't make any sense and just getting the essence of the piece. That's what I do. That's what I envision when I first see the landscape. I think an artist's job is to interpret what the creator has laid out for us. We're just basically taking snapshots of that, putting in our own interpretation of it, our own feelings, our own emotion, and then presenting that to the viewers or to the public. That's art to me. So it really is just it's a statement of what we are and who we are, and it's translated through, in my case, landscapes. The idea of becoming an artist didn't really hit until high school. And it was one of those rainy days when the music instructor was filling in for the English teacher that couldn't make it to school. So he whipped out his watercolor palette and paints and a piece of watercolor paper and did a demonstration right in the class. That was his way of filling in for the teacher. And well, I watched him do that, and I still remember what he painted. He painted an old railroad ties and some water in between the ties, and a couple of trees above it and reflecting in the waters. And I thought, wow, that's what I want to do. Your life changes quickly, you know, and the direction changes quickly. And then I think a lot of it is just following the path. We don't choose our career, it chooses us. I think that's very true. I think as long as you keep moving, that career will catch up to you, or you'll find the right spot to walk into, or the right position to be in at the right time. You know, the doors open, you walk through them, see what's on the other side. I did a couple of one-man shows down in Florida. I think probably one of the more interesting one was what I did in Cleveland, a real wet, cold, snowy night. I really didn't think that I would have anybody show up for the show because it was so cold and miserable. We ended up having 1,100 people show up for the event. We sold almost everything in the entire show, and the party didn't stop until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And those were fun. We had a lot of people show up in those days, all throughout Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia. I did that for probably 10 years. There was a lot of shows. The most posters I think I had in one particular catalog was about 25. Back in the 90s, I think there was a few catalog companies that had 10 or 15, but I think Editions Limited had up to about 25 pieces. Interestingly enough, some of the pieces are still in catalogs dating back into the early 90s. And then you start to realize that all the millions of posters you're selling happen to find their way in front of the public. And I think that's when you start to realize that you're actually fairly famous in this game. Well, I spent 10 years in Nashville, in that area, and I think a lot of the subject matter that I paint today comes out of that era and out of that area. Tennessee and Kentucky and Alabama, Mississippi, and even upstate New York. I love that area up there. The big pines, the big beech trees, the big birches. I think a lot of that that I do today is reminiscent of those areas and of that subject matter. I paint in California quite a bit too, like today. Those areas I think are what I enjoy painting the most. One of the more difficult things is painting on location. A lot of people say, well, you got everything right in front of you. Well, you have too much in front of you. The artist has to take all of the elements, eliminate the things you don't need in the painting, and just paint the things that you do need. And you have to deal with the light changing. It changes rapidly. You're painting the shadows on one tree and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. So you have to take a mental snapshot of the area that you're looking at and then paint that, because it's going to change 5 minutes from now. I think my paintings, they tell hope, and they tell adventure and mystery and romance, and I've been fortunate, really fortunate, to paint something that people really enjoy and feel and get inspired from and fall in love with. And I like the growing aspect of becoming a better and better artist. I don't think you ever arrive as an artist. I think you're always arriving. You're eventually going to get there. I think eventually I'll get to a point where I feel comfortable with the work. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied completely with it. I like the idea that somebody can see one of my paintings and see a part of nature that they've been in, a place that they're familiar with, a scene that they know from childhood or some time in a vacation, something like that. That's when I feel like what I do actually rings home. That's important to me. They can actually relate to the landscape. So communication between the painter and The viewer is what's important.
We were just talking about Michael Schofield. Well, in here in the studio, Michael Schofield is 77, I believe, and his dad was military. Michael was in the Army, and he was a cook in the Army. And the same thing happened to George Costanza's dad. What was? No, I'm joking. No, he was a great cook. He really was. Now I have some new Michael Schofields that Michael sent this way, and I'm gonna defer to. I got one here called For Rent. I got some other pieces, but I want to show you some new ones first. So, Matt, pick the first one you want to pull up, and we're going to put it up on the. Oh, look at that! Nature's Oasis. 24 by 30, perfect size. List 35,000. And I have, while you're looking at that, I am just going to, oh, look at that. I just want to show you something here real fast, and I'll get back to Matt. Here's Michael Schofield's own site years ago. $42,000 for an original. Here's Hub's Historical at the turn of the century, the turn of the new millennium. 42 or 45 or 42.5, whatever. That's what Michael gets. Now, all right, I'm going to take this down. Let's go back to Matt's. And here's what I'm going to do, Matt. Anyone they like. How many do you, oh, look at that. Oh. Whew. Look at this. You're talking about a 35, $800 to open, $200 increments. Perfect size, 24 by 30. Michael Schofield, look at those carnation colors. Look at the caramel colors. Look at how he paints the backside of trees blue. He's the first, he used to do that a lot. And just like Wes Hunting, the glassmaker, said, you know, he'd innovate something. He'd show a couple glassmakers at a show how he did it. Then a year later, they're taking credit for it. Well, Michael is, so many artists do that now, but Michael's been doing it his whole career. $800 to open on an oil on canvas by Michael Schofield. And I know a lot of you are going, Barry, Barry, Barry. I love that one, but I think you have another one. Before I say yes to this one, I want to see the next one. So, Matt, oh, look at that. That is one of my favorites already. Like the purple at the, oh, Mountains Vista. Look at this. Mountains Vista, 800 to open. Look at that. Look at the grade. Do they want the last one? Patty? Let's go back to the other one. On this one. Nature's Oasis. We have the open. 800 has been bid. Looking for 9. Oh, look at that. That is a beauty. 800 going once. That's too cheap. I didn't even show the rest of them. That's too cheap. But 800 going twice.
24 by 30.
That's a bigger painting. 24 by 30. Fair and final warning. All in, all said. Sold. All right. Matt, let's go to the next one. Hidden Paradise. Oh, there it is. That's the other one. Mountain Vista. Look at that. Have you ever hiked way up there high, Jimmy? Have you ever?
Oh, yes.
I mean, traveled up high up the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I meant. Okay.
The Sierras, lots of times, yeah.
I did too. I used to walk. I went to American College of Switzerland for the summer of 1982. And boy, you had to walk high in those mountains to get to American College of Switzerland. 800 to open.
Well, he has one right now. He's showing Mountain Vista at 800.
Look at that. Look at that.
That is the Nature's Oasis. Yeah. 150.
All right.
950 total.
Matt, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, I have 2257 MasterCard.
Look at that. Yellow Brook River. Oh, that is priceless. That is as good as it gets ever, anywhere. Have you ever floated on a inner tube down the Truckee River?
Not the Truckee,
You haven't?
but no.
I used to do that all the time because I lived in Reno. When I got my master's from University of Nevada, Reno. You ever go on skinny dipping in a pond?
Yes,
It's very cold.
that's true.
Yes. Yeah, no, you skinny dipped? Oh, you're giving me advice on skinny dipping.
It was almost embarrassing.
Look at this, Michael Schofield, 30 by 24, 800 to open. Look at that. He is one of the great. You know he is in the billion with a B, Jimmy, $1 billion Arm & Hammer collection. One of the greatest collections of art on the planet. That includes Michael Schofield's work. Michael's in the Smithsonian collection. Michael is in the Library of Congress collection. Michael is an official PGA golf artist. Michael Schofield is a very important artist. No takers on Yellow Brook River. Let's go to the next one. Oh. A Road to Home. Yo, yeah, he's got every focal point. What Michael has done is by putting that yellow house way down that road, cropped by the trees, he's created distance. I mean, I'm just guessing that's a third of a mile, quarter of a mile.
The sky further down looks like it's 10 miles away.
Yeah, the sky is. But I got an important question for you while you're looking at that painting. What color is air, Jimmy?
What color is air?
Yeah.
City or yeah?
All right, you got that one right. All right. 800 to open on A Road to Home. Boy, Michael named that one perfect. Look at that. Original oil on canvas. The $1 billion Arm & Hammer collection. That's an honor. All right, let me show you the next one. Look at that. Field of Dreams. Look at those blues. Turquoise blue, iceberg blue, topaz blue, London blue. Then you got about 12 shades of greens there. Yeah, that bridge. Have you ever seen a little bridge like that?
It's a
Sheltered life, heaven, yeah. We'd eventually let you out every now and then, wouldn't they, Jimmy? Yeah.
Once a day.
Oh, you're lucky. 800 to open on Field of Dreams. All right, let me show the next one. Oh, Hidden Paradise. And it reminds me, what are those two? Paradise Lost and Paradise Found. Who wrote that? Come on, Wilson.
Is he an artist also?
He's an author. Who wrote Paradise Lost?
John Milton wrote Paradise Lost in 1667.
Who wrote Paradise Found?
Paradise Found was written by John Goldsmith.
She doesn't know what year.
Who wrote Paradise is Missing?
Having gone blind in 1652, Milton wrote Paradise Lost entirely through dictation with the help of amanuenses and friends.
I
He
did.
also wrote the epic poem while often ill, suffering from gout, and suffering emotionally after the early death of his second wife, Catherine Woodcock, in 1658,
You gotta
and their
go
infant
now.
daughter. This is from Wikipedia.
Boy, he had a tough life. Oh my goodness. John Milton, apparently. Whew. Let me show you the next one. That was okay. We sold one, so, and I have a couple over here. Let me put that one up right for rent. Yes. Look at that. What year did you do that in? 20? 2020? Or was it?
20, it looks like.
Yeah, 2020. Oh, this is going to, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. $800 to open. We had this up for a lot more. This was an important series. It was, what's the item number on this?
One, is it for rent?
For rent. $800 to open. Yeah, look at that retail, $24,000. I'm opening this up for $1,800. I think we pay $800. I think we paid more for this. This was one of his series pieces, but hey, I only have 40 minutes left. And then I'm going to talk some philosophy with you. All right, yeah. Yes, with Jimmy. Yeah,
Psychology?
no, philosophy.
Oh, was.
Yes. My nephew is going to his graduation at University of California, San Francisco. He is going to be a certified, getting his master, got his master, graduating as a psychologist. Worked with everybody, did all the hours. All right, put up this next one. I'm going to get, it's right up against, right there, yes. Now, Jimmy, I'm going to give you some words of advice. Look at this. Look at that sky in the background. You ever seen the Northern Lights?
Not much from here.
I-
But, where you really get a good look at it.
I saw them in Yellowknife, Canada. But I'm going to bring this painting up and give you some advice. Do you have a pen and paper? Can you remember this? What is this of, Jimmy? That's a snow scene. Don't
I didn't realize you were looking for the obvious.
don't ever, no matter how thirsty you are, ever
No, now you tell me.
eat yellow snow. You know why?
Bad advice on the camping trip.
Yeah. No. I remember as Boy Scouts, they took me snipe hunting. There is no such thing as a snipe person. When it gets a little kid lost in the woods, they wanted to get a big kid lost in the woods. $800 to open, and there should be an item number on the back of that painting. And there's not. We will figure it out by the time. All right. And if you're not, it only takes a few minutes. Unlike Costco, there's no registration fee. And we have cut it back. We only need a urine sample, blood sample. No, we waived all that on everybody except Wilson. But Wilson's was court ordered. Which one are they interested in, Juliet?
Let me check. Okay. Can I have your name? Okay. Okay, hold on. He's saying hasn't said he's interested in neither one of them, but he's saying that do you have the certificate of authenticity of Schofield because he bought some paintings in the past and he was told by Ashley that he was going to get them and he never did.
Oh, we will make sure if he buys one tonight, he gets a certificate. And if he tells me the names of the other ones, I will get him certificates. And you write that down. I'm sure he gets certificates. Tell him I'm embarrassed that he hadn't, and I'm going to make sure he gets them. Yes. And I'm going to make sure he gets them. Take care of it myself. Okay, nobody on this. Well, let's go back to the few that we showed earlier, because there's one I can't believe that didn't sell. That was $800 to open, Matt. I mean, it was delightful. That one was one. Look at that, at $800 to open. Yeah, I will make sure he can. Excuse me, shouldn't be drinking while I'm on the air. No, I'm not. Just Mountain Dew. Well, actually, Nicodoo is my drink of choice. All right. Look at this. Any of these at $800 to open? Are you kidding? Unbelievable. Yeah, you just have them send them. I'll make sure. So at $800 to open, all right, let's vote here. That is cool, that trail. And Jimmy, I could drive you up there to the very top, blindfold you on the way up, roll you out the car, and see if you can. How long would it take you to get to civilization?
Usually about 20 minutes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. All right, let's see the next one, because that's special. But there's one that I cannot believe didn't sell. All right, let's go to the next one, because this next one, Matt, is so That's cool. That is very cool. Hidden Paradise. Like the Eagles said, the minute you tell somebody it's paradise, it's ruined. So you got to hide paradise. That is fantastic. There's one more coming. that I thought should have sold like, there it is! That should have gone bye-bye so fast. That should have been, bam, gone. I mean, out the door. That should have sold so fast that in a couple minutes, mailman, I got a package for you. That's how cool that is. Don't let that one slip away at $800. I am jealous for whoever gets this one. That is a perfect Schofield. Do you ever go on Boy Scouts and walk across a log like that and slip? Okay. It happened to me, Jimmy. All right. Next, last one. Is there one? Oh, the yellow house. Look at that. Any of those left at 800 would be a steal. I want to thank you for letting me show those to you. And I hear somebody texting. Hey, David. Hi, David. What do you think? Which one are they interested in, Priscilla? Oh, let's make sure they get what they want. When someone says they're waiting with bated breath, does that mean you're holding your breath? Hi, Priscilla. I got bated breath. I'm going to hold my breath till she tells me which one they want. I used to be a heavy smoker, so I don't know how long I can do this. I quit 26 years ago when my son was born. I'm feeling a little woozy. Oh, that got me. Let's make it happen. And Priscilla, which one are they interested in, or? Do they remember what it looked like? Which one? Yellow house. A road to home, Matt. If you could pull. There it is, Priscilla. From their call to your mouth to the TV. At 800 to open, that is so cheap, it's unbelievable. That's an original oil on canvas by Michael Schofield. Is that the one they want? Yellow Brook River. I'm sorry, Matt. Yellow Brook River. Hang on. There it is. That is a perfect Schofield. Nobody, I want that. I'm jealous. I would. Sold. Do they want it? Open. Well, I'm going to sell it so fast. 800. You got the open. $800 going once.
Last half an hour, we got to do it.
Well, we could have done it the first half an hour. 800 going twice. Fair. And final warning. Sold. You got it. Okay, well, you work it out. Re-register, get it all done. Thank you. Yellow Brook River is done. Now, which one are they interested in, Patty? Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. Okay. Right here. Now, oh, look at that. Field of Dreams for $800. That is a amazing sky on TV. Yes. Oh, Field of Dreams. All right. Now let's go live to the easel here. Folks, this is one of the great Olegs. You're seeing a circle, an oval, inside a cube on a square. And this is called the banjo player. Oleg talked to Jack and I and asked about this piece for a very long time. I got a picture of it. And what we talked about was not only the hair, but how you see this plane that they're floating on in an oval on a square piece of canvas, and there is every geometrical shape. Oleg said this is the one. He said, Barry, I spent so much time on this one. It's 32.5 by 44. It's oil on canvas. And now this is Oleg talking. This is not, I did not say this, but this is what Oleg said to Jack. He said, Barry, you sell my work too cheap. Please tell them, hold this painting for 8 years. It'd be $500,000 or $250,000. It was so much. And I go, well, what, are you going to die, Oleg? And he got mad. I said, no, I was just joking, Oleg. Oh, Barry, you know nothing. I said, well, I never said I did, Oleg. But he says he follows the Surikov artist market very closely. He knows his worth. And I had this up, and I lowered this all the way down. And it's such a low price. Matt, they got a call on this. I know a price. I discussed it with Patty. It's so cheap, if I say it, I'm going to get beat up by somebody. Call for price. It's lower. I had it up at 95, then it was up for a while at 55. I'm going lower and lower and lower. Jimmy, I'm going to sell this right now. And you know the secret price. Patty knows the secret price. And what I'm going to do is sit like a little kid with my feet over the edge here. Ugh. It was, I think, yeah. Oh, I got a price for you. It is so cheap on this. Hey, Jimmy, who's that guy with gray? Oh, that's me. Never mind. I used to have black hair, Jimmy. Folks, I got a price so cheap. I'm going to let you enjoy the art here. But this is one, he has used every geometrical shape. He makes it look easy. As this lady plays the guitar, you have some of the hats and costumes of both Russia and Uzbekistan. And you have that carnation right there. It is about as good as it gets. And it is a price, it is not 95, 85, 75, 65, 55. It's not 45. You got to call because I'm going to sell this. And this one was one of Oleg's favorites. He talked about how many sketches he made this 6-inch area, well, this area right here, from this hat over to the face, he told me he had hundreds of sketches. Patty, they're going to want this. This is the creme de la creme of Oleg Shevetin. You ever been in a pull-up contest with him?
Since I've only met him like twice, I can't say yes. Both of them were indoors.
Patty, I got a special price on this. Oh, it's we called it a tie. He was smoking, I wasn't. We did it over at the old Revenue Frontier area in that park there. He got mad at me. He says, Barry, you're cheating. I said, how am I cheating? He says, you're using a step ladder. No,
28th Street Park.
yeah, was that what it's called? I got a price. Now, folks, I only have about 22 minutes left. And I want this, if you don't own an Oleg Shevetin, I mean, master graduate of the Surikov, top of his class.
If she were to frame it, how much would it cost?
I could frame it. There's a couple. You could.
How much is your wholesale price?
If you framed it, let's see.
I want the framing price.
You want there probably to frame this. Are you sure you want to frame it? You just.
I told her to, yeah, she said she wants to know.
Okay, I'll tell you what to frame it. I mean, I'm talking $1 million look framing, Patty, this. It's large, but we will get it to you, and it will look like it already looks like $1 million. This is the Oleg Shevetin. And you're going to have one of the greatest paintings by Oleg Shevetin. It's stunning. This is one of the most important graduates of the hardest art college on the planet. Well, hang on. Where are we at, Patty? Let me.
Just tell me the shipping
With
with framing.
framing. Make it look like $1 million. It already looks like $1 million. You ever been bitten by a cat?
Oh, many times.
Yes, me too. You ever been bitten by a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever been bitten by a donkey?
Kicked by donkey, not bitten.
Biting hurts more.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I learned not to come up behind.
Thank you. So this is sold. This is gone. Have you ever, Jimmy? I think this is without a doubt. I was saying I never compete with customers ever since Bob Hallam 33 years ago told me this, of the ones on paper, this is unbelievable. This is BC 2957. Look at that. That is oil on paper. Also, a touch of acrylic, a touch of oil, and a little bit of pastel. That's all pastel. That's the oil, and that's the acrylic. This is unbelievable. Oh, texture is amazing. All right, I'm lowering and lowering it. You should be in on this. Watch this. If this doesn't sell, I'm going to auction it. $2,200 to open. $200 increments. That is a perfect Oleg. Yeah, we're running low. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Left out. I got 4 left right now. Look at that. Oh, that is perfect. Look at that texturing right there. That caramel color right there. Thank them. And who was that? Where do they live? Thank you, Texas. Thank you. At 2,200, all right. That's Reflections 2200. Oh, we can leave it up because this will actually, the next one is 2960 right here, and this is the Touch. Wasn't that the song they sang in the Boogie Nights movie with Burt Reynolds when they wanted to be, they thought they were great singers?
That's the movie I was telling you about.
Yeah, yes. Folks, look at that. Look at the Touch. Look at the story. You got a face inside a face. You got the Touch right here. And I lowered this all the way down to 2,200 to open. Look at that. So I have these 2 and 2 others. They are all sold. Thank you. At 2,200, you cannot buy an original Oleg Javetin, hand signed on the front, signed on the back.
It lights up the room.
Oh, it does. It does.
It lights up the room.
It does. And this one, I would add about 3 inches on each side framing it. Yeah, let's move those 2 away because I have these last 2. This is oil on board right here. This is called the Admirer. The only question is it a secret admirer or is it just an admirer? Have you ever had a secret admirer?
No.
I did. Yeah, I was in 4th grade. Problem was, I know her name, I can't say it on TV. She sent her friend over to say, so-and-so likes you, do you like her, Barry? And I had all my friends in front of me, and I said, no, and I was so stupid. Then again, I was 9, you know. I lacked, hell yes, I'm going to marry her someday. You know, I don't know if I could say that at 9, but I should have. Yeah, it is. So this, the Admirer, I'll tell you what. And Patty, and my cost on this is the Admirer. I think I know. Look at that. The Admirer. Oh, I got a price for you. Oh, call me. It's so much cheaper. The Admirer, 3,500. Wow. And it is just stunning. Look at that. Her first name was Debbie. Her last name was Sweet. Debbie Sweet. Oh, she sent her friend over. She sent her friend over and said, Debbie Sweet likes you. Do you like her? And I was such an idiot. I got too embarrassed at the age of 9. What would you have said?
Well, but when I was 9, I'd say stuff like, get in line.
Oh, no. I did. So, Debbie Sweet, if you're watching, I'm available. I still remember you.
She might be sour by now. I mean, just
Well, love doesn't sour.
no, just not generally just towards you. I mean, you know,
I had my chance.
you cast her aside.
Let's see.
Makes a girl mad.
Yeah, let's move this one out of the way. And this is the last one, Eve and the Apple. Yeah, let me just do some. Debbie Sweet was her name. Oh, man. And she went to a different school. I did. In 5th grade, I lived in Germany. And then when I got back, she was no longer there. So let me just see something. Indiana.
You gotta look her up.
No, I'm not going to look her up. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to drive over there. Debbie? Hi, do you remember me?
You're on Facebook.
Barry here. Yeah, you said your sweet friend over, and I said, no, I made a mistake. It was only 53 years ago. So this one right here, what did I put this up for? Oh, I did. 3. Watch this. Oh, this is too cheap. 2,700. Oh, that's crazy. Look, you got the face in the face. You got Eve reaching for the apple, and Adam's going, I don't think we're supposed to do that, Eve. She says, don't get me upset. You haven't heard about me. No, she's going, you never read 3 Faces of Eve? Eek, eek, eek. All right, no, that was a very important movie. I don't know how, was that Joan Crawford in there, or who was it? So Debbie Sweet, I made a mistake 53 years ago. I was embarrassed. And I was a chubby kid, too. Well, you're the one that said she might be sour.
Just on you. Not sour in general. I mean,
I had my chance, is what you're saying.
you rebuffed her advances.
What? No, listen, you never forget. So is all lost as Robert Redford did that one movie, All is Lost, when it really wasn't? Oh, the way we were. Give me a break. All is lost. All right. So those are all of the remaining Olegs, and what I'm going to do, and I thank all of you. Let me
Open up the phone lines.
let's put that. Yeah, let's put the secret admirer up. I am down to 9 minutes. Now watch this.
Hardly any Olegs left.
And hardly any what?
And hardly any Olegs left.
That would get. Could I get in trouble, Wilson, if I was to go up to some girl 53 years later and say, at Delaware Trails Elementary School, in Mrs. Kelly's 4th grade class, you sent a friend over to say, Debbie Sweet likes you. Do you like her? And I said no because I was stupid. And I showed up at her house. Could I get in trouble?
No, only if she was still in 4th grade.
I almost swallowed my gum. Assuming she is aged.
I don't know why.
assuming she has aged well, like the rest of us. No!
Stop on your head there and just stop. Just stop.
Don't swallow your gum now. I don't know the hard way.
All right, let's show these last two, and then we are out of Oleg Javetins. Can you hand me one of each? You hold one. I will hold Reflections, which is really cool. These, what did I price these at? 2.9, 5.9. I lowered it down to 2,200 to open. I want to thank you because we are down to our last 4 Oleg Javetins. What? 22 to open, yeah. That's what I said.
2960 is one of the items.
Stop looking for Debbie Sweets. There's got to be thousands of them. Now, if you are, I put down Debbie Sweet Delaware Trails Elementary School. But they closed Delaware Trails Elementary School. They tore it down.
You're probably never going to find her.
Oh, I don't know.
Not at Delaware Trail.
I got to find me a James Rockford type of guy to get out there. All right, so let's move these paper ones away. I want to thank you. This I'm buying. I've told you, Adam, even the apple. And here is the admirer now. Sasha Basari, I'm going to sell that one right over there. Yes. And there is one other Sasha Basari. I have 2 Sasha Basaris. He is Russian, St. Petersburg. I had the most fun. It's right back around there. Yeah. There it is, yes. It's a kid in the park. No, yeah. To give you an idea, Sasha Basari, he does shows for, look at this. Here's Sasha Basari on the roof of the Hermitage, art auctioning his art off to help the stray cats and dogs of the Hermitage. Now this was 2011 when I went to St. Petersburg. And here is what the Hermitage looks like with a big sign, big auction to help the cats and dogs of the Hermitage. It's the most amazing. And back then in 2011, Jimmy, I could get away with stuff like the Dance by Matisse. I touched that painting 3 times when the guard wasn't looking. I touched a Vincent van Gogh twice. I moved the Dance. It's a huge painting. And after it moved, I started pointing at Robert Jolly. I said,
He's getting out about 3.
yeah. But it was one of the most, both of these, this one, look at this redhead. What Sasha Basari said is you never forget when you're younger and you go to a different park and you see the outside, look, you know this girl. Look at her eyes. You can see the wonderment of the park. And, you know, I have ads here for $35,000 for Sasha Basari. This is called The Park, or At the Park, by Sasha Basari. And I don't know, we'll find the item number. I'm going to do something crazy on this. I have these 2 Sasha Basaris. I haven't had it up tonight. This one, tell you what, either one, rock bottom.
About 3 minutes left.
$1,100.
Did you say either one?
Either one.
Either one, 11?
1,100. Hey, what's happening on that TV there from Korea? Look at that. Is that a body?
A live one.
No, I know, but are they pulling a body up on Korean TV? No. I don't know. He's swimming up there pretty fast. You ever scuba dive, Wilson? No. Sheltered life, huh? That's got to be sold, yes. David Lloyd Glover, this should have sold. Coral Country Lane, 7,500 list price. I'll tell you what I can do on this. What? That one is this one. Country Club Falls. What about the other one, the first one? The Coral Lane, whatever it was that we just had. That one. Yes. Patty, I think I know on this one, right? On this one? Watch this. $500 to open. Yeah, 500. Hey, look, I only got 2 minutes left. Patty's taking a picture. So how do I go about finding a girl named Debbie Sweet that was 9 years old at Delaware Trails Elementary School in Indianapolis, Indiana, 53 years ago, Wilson? How would you go about finding her? With the school closed down, they built apartments over it.
I bet she's on Facebook. 1 minute.
You know how many suites are going to be on Facebook?
But only the one and only.
Camera 2. I got about a minute left. If you have any, Debbie, I'm coming for you. You stay out of that, Jimmy. Don't you mess with Debbie Sweet, Jimmy. I'll whap you. So, folks, I want to thank you. We're down to 4 Olegs left. Thank you. Any Schofields, any David Glovers, any Sasha Bassaris, and anything. I got 10 seconds. Hey, we love you, Buford. Don't kick that dog. I will see you next Wednesday night. You guys have fun. Hey, we love you. Bye-bye.